won't give up till I'm on top.
Yo, no, I ain't the type to give up. If I do something, man, I do it till I get what I want. I turn a business out of nothing into something I love. I got a poker face, but honestly, I'm not one to bluff. I flip a switch, never miss, man, I always stay up. Don't let them see you, bitch, always have a plan to stay tough. This life ahead of you ain't easy, it was built to be rough. But that's what makes a personality, is tragedy, bruh. So keep your head on your shoulders. Now we ain't out here moving rocks, we out here moving boulders. Now
What up? What up? What up? Welcome in to Pregaming here on Sports Money. Monday to Friday. Won't stop, can't stop. Got some work to do this afternoon. Got busted up a little this morning with some Major League Baseball. So roll the sleeves up because it is time to go to work. It's Thursday night. And you know, it's only right that we pop on live for the Thursday night football game. My favorite game to stream. Specifically because we're all on the same page at the same time, trying to do the same thing, and that is get that money. I'm excited to get that money tonight. Kind of got a splashed little pot here with the card this afternoon because, baseball kind of went kick in the nuts earlier today. So I'm trying to figure out the best angle of attack on a couple of these spots still, but I'm loaded up, man. I've got college football. I've got an angle for you guys here tonight in this college football game between East Carolina and Army. And we got Thursday night football. We've got the Seahawks and the big time Arizona Cardinals. I don't know if they're big time or not, but I like some spots in this game. I'm going to attack the first half pretty heavy. I'm going to give some player props as I usually do. You'll be able to find those on the Thursday night live stream. We gave out first strike last night, so there's 3 big spots for you guys to go attack the UFC card from the Sports Money Squad. VB MMA Picks and Ensemble are out there as well with 3 of their fights to break down to get you guys paid for this UFC card. So that's 6. It's almost half the card for you guys to go fire and get paid when it comes to UFC, because we'll be going live. We're back Saturday. You guys know the deal. Saturdays and UFC are our thing. That's where we got started. That's where we continue to escalate and make that cash. And that's where we're going to go back and fire again this weekend. So hope you guys are excited. I know I am excited. Thursday leads to Friday. Friday is officially time for the weekend. And then Saturday and Sunday, we got football. We have football for a long time. So dig in, get ready, and get set. There's going to be a ton of fun as we evolve. Now, there's no WNBA tonight. It's a little sad. But that's okay. Still got plenty of spots to go out there and attack. And as I mentioned, Thursday night football, our guy Razor Sharp, soft ass mother as he is, he's back and ready to attack. Back from his vacation, ready to go. I don't know what those are. I just want to get paid. But it's going to be fun. Is there a big thumb in front of the camera? No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. So let's get into it. Somebody asked me earlier today, thought you said there was a big 10-0 spot for the Mets last night and you didn't play it. Why not? And I thought this is a good thing to explain. I kind of sort of sniffed around the edges of this thing a little bit previously. Sometimes, and you'll see this in hockey, sometimes I just don't have a read for the team or a spot. And I talked about this with the Mets and the Padres in that series. I think I took 3 straight losses. I almost never take 3 straight losses in a series. I did. And I'll own it. Got to go back and fight from it. So when that's the case, look, sometimes I'll just back off. Just back off for a couple of days and let things kind of regulate themselves a little bit and try to see if you can't try to get back on and get that momentum going again. So you'll see that. The spam messages, and they come out at 6:00 all the time. So anyhow, you'll see this with hockey. You'll see this with basketball too. You know, sometimes you got a really good beat on a team. Like we talked about, you know, the stable. I recommend you guys look to build a stable of players for the NBA season. We had our guys last year. Just some guys that you can parlay when the point spread gets a little high, when the line gets moving a little too far. Get you guys in there with your points. We were firing on a couple of guys last year. And, you know, then when they fall out of sequence, as they fall out of cycle, you just step back and let things kind of just let them materialize a little bit, let things do what they're going to do. And then you go back and you fire. And that's exactly how I try to play the game. Baseball, it just so happens there's so many baseball games. It doesn't take as long to wait. So, 2-3 games, you're into a new series, and that changes the whole dynamic. So let's see if we can't change the dynamic of this afternoon. I'm trying to get you guys updated here with the real-time information. Bear with me. All right, I think what we're going to have to do is this way. I told you guys, I've been really just looking at this card, trying to make heads and tails of it, and it's kind of like, man. Had the under in that Pirates game earlier today. Got cute, and, well, I had the under, and I got cute and added the Pirates. That was a fuck. That's not what you do. Man, the Astros are finally back. This is one of those spots, the Astros and the Athletics. I was on the Astros the first 2 games. I flip-flopped over to the Athletics today, and the Astros are busting them up. So if they had one more game, I wouldn't be playing it in this series. What else? Well, let's start with last night. We're middling. We ended up with a plus unit on the day. So we're going to grind. Some days we're going to be up a lot. Some days we're going to be up a little. Some days we're going to be down a little. Hopefully some days we're not down a lot, but it wasn't the same go-to last night. Finishing off the card, bottom order up. The Astros lost. The Cardinals lost. That was a tough one. It was 4-3. It was a tough back and forth. It was tied at 3. And then Arizona loses to the to the Dodgers. Tied at 4, 5-4 final. Now the Angels won against Kansas City. We were on that spot. We got our parlay, our under 8 in Texas and our under 9 in the Angels. White Sox got busted up. That was my fear. They're either going to win outright or they're going to get busted up, and they opted for the latter, which was getting busted up. Plus 1.5, plus 140. They lost by 7 runs. Phillies game goes over the 8, and the Cincinnati Reds blew it at the end. Again, extra inning spots. The Cleveland Guardians did win against the Tigers. We cashed our Milwaukee in the under, and they got the under as well in that game. So, yeah, not our finest 24 hours, but we finished positive yesterday. We have plenty of games and action to go tonight. I've got action in everything, I think, but that Seattle game. Pretty sure everything but that Seattle game. Seattle game just didn't. I don't want to bet on either of those teams. I'm going to be honest with you. And I know everyone loves Cal Raleigh to get a home run. Because of that, I can't play that either. But Island college football game, Island Thursday night game, a 5-pack of Major League Baseball games. I think we got plenty of action to get ourselves busy here this evening. And like I said, we'll be live. So that means we'll be live betting. We'll be taking some shots. We'll be having a good time. I'm ready to have a good time. I'll tell you that. Someone's got to tell me East Carolina. What happened? Still a bad team. Their defense stinks, and their offense isn't competitive enough to play with the big boys. When the hell? I feel like I've been hearing about East Carolina since the end of last season. Somebody answer me. Riddle me that, Batman. Their defense is getting chunked, and their offense, they got busted up against that triple option last week. So I guess we'll have to see how that game goes. I've got a spot that I already gave out for that place. So I'm excited to talk about the lone college game. Speaking of the lone game, he ain't alone no more. Sean Alexander, another 14th child. Him and his wife are expecting. Can anybody say use bubblegum? Funniest tweet I saw about that today was Phillip Rivers. Somebody tweeted and said, Phillip Rivers, your move. So Sean Alexander's busy. I'm sure Phillip Rivers will be getting busy. I thought that was interesting off-field notes. Also, it looks like, pencil this down. You got to keep an eye on this one, especially for Washington Commanders. I was going to say Redskins. Injury galore again. So they had their big win last week. But there's just more offensive skill position injuries, wide receiver positions, secondary. I mean, they're banged up right now. So you got to keep your eyes on that. Keep your eyes on that squad. And I think that's going to do it. It's a late show today because we're going to go live. We'll be giving you guys plenty of action. I want to give you some time to go out there and take a look at the First Strike video. Make sure you guys hit the thumbs up on that sucker if you would not mind so terribly to do just that. That would be a huge help for us. I'm going to pull it all together for you guys here. We'll have the top 5 player prop bets. We want to stay away from those. We'll have the top 5 favorites and sides and totals for this weekend as well. We're going to want to stay away from those. A couple new trends to talk to you guys about. I'll drop some college football games for us live tonight. The Dodgers finally have finished beating on the Diamondbacks. It's 8-0. And it's final. It is final. Let's go. Bust it up. Busted the fuck up this afternoon. Ugly. It's hard to say, like, oh, if you get reverse swept. Well, you created an edge. No. I mean, yeah, if you're bad and you're constantly getting reverse swept, yeah, you created an edge. But we're not bad. We had a bad shake here. Bad shake of the dice. And that doesn't create an edge for anybody. It just creates losses. So got to figure that back out. Also want to shout out none other than Drew Aller. Who? 21-year-old quarterback for Penn State. The Nittany Lions quarterback, projected to be the number 1 overall draft pick in the 2026 NFL draft. Go Penn State. Go Penn State. Remember what I said? Penn State, national champs. Parlay it with Penn State and hockey, national champs. We'll see if they got the guts this weekend here with a dicey, a slimy little Oregon Penn State squad fighting back and forth with each other to see what that looks like. That's going to be the game of the weekend for me. Pretty sure. Pretty sure. All right, you guys know the deal. Need your help. Need some support. The way you can support, lots of different ways to support us. The easiest one is the thumbs up button. That gets them knowing that we're here. You guys know how the algorithm works by now with YouTube. You guys show up, helps. You guys hit the thumbs up button, helps even more. And then YouTube promotes us. In turn, that promotion. Okay. In addition to, I mentioned before, I'll speak on it again because I don't mind. Who's going to yell at me? At the end of the day, you want to support us here at Sports Money. We greatly appreciate it. Them big guns, them big channels, they charge big dollars for their big packages. All they get is single sports. We provide packages by time frame. You get all the sports. And the best part is the capper gets almost all of it. A small percentage of whatever it is that you're buying from a service perspective gets rolled into the processor. That is winnable. Everything else, right to the capper. So what a better way to support your small business here, your small channel, your best cappers in the damn business than getting out there to Winnable. Take a look at it if you haven't done so already. Free plays, subscription plays, weekend plays, weekday plays, extra plays, golf plays, you name it, they're out there. You can get them at any given time by checking out Winnable. It's your boy, Mikey Money. I'm inviting you to join the Sports Money crew on Winnable. Get all of our premium best bet selections.
For a low monthly cost, you get the very best bets delivered instantly to your phone by text the moment they're locked in. No delays, no missed lines, just the smartest plays at the best odds.
We do the work, you get the plays sent straight to your phone right when you need them.
Don't wait, don't guess, don't miss the line. Join the winning team today and start cashing tickets with Winnable.
That's right. Check us out at Winnable. The Sports Money squad is assembled and ready to go. We appreciate you guys that did show up today, that do want to support the squad. We want to keep coming back and doing this with you guys. So we do appreciate the donations, the gifted memberships, and of course, the followers over at Winnable on top of it all. Appreciate you guys. Let's do this thing here. Get those plays in the chat. Let's talk about the best damn chat in the business, and let's see the plays that they're on so that we can tail or fail. I feel like I whacked this microphone real good, and I don't know. I wonder if I hate to go back and listen. I got to listen and see if it's pingy. If it's pingy, we'll see. A little nervous about the trends today. I'm going to tell you that. Pirates were in an 8-0 spot. They lose. Baltimore under spot 17-0. That loses. Astros 0-8. That loses. The only thing that did win was the LA Dodgers 7-0. Even the Minnesota Twins 0-14. Sometimes you're going to get those days. What are you going to do? Subhuman Gaucho is ready to go. He's going to give you guys a boxing play right out the gate. Lucero on the money line is a DraftKings line for even money. I'm not sure when that boxing event is. Let me see. Let me see. Verification location. Checking location. Okay. I guess we won't see. Shout out to Robert McCormick. Oh, here we go. Maybe I can do it this way. Maybe I can do it this way. Looks like that's going to be a Saturday match. Looks like Saturday's the next day of fights on the card for me. So check that out. Lucero, money line from our guy, Subhuman Gaucho. Robert McCormick's here. Pacheco de Gallo says, Winnable has not been winning today. It has not, my guy. That's why it's important that we own it. You know, we're going to have glorious days. We're going to have not such great days. And that's ultimately why it's most important to be a long-term subscriber. You know, imagine if you only followed baseball today and you missed out on the 130 units that we're up on for the year. You'd be like, this guy sucks at baseball. Yeah, I do. You're right. You're right. Blake M says, good afternoon, crew. Old E says, what up, you dogs? Stop Geo Engineering's here. Joe W's checking in. Peter Gracia says, sup, Mikey? Good cashing last night. Let's cash again. Yeah, it was. Just not, you know, I want another one of them 15-unit days, you know, like one of them UFC cards where you're like, whoa, I just cashed out a couple commas. Or at least one big comma. Stop Geo Engineering. Thumbs up. Redbeard says Seattle moneyline. Trey Benson over 20.5 receiving yards. Marvin Harrison Jr. anytime touchdown. Interesting. Because that doesn't correlate in any way. I like that. Redbeard. You guys know the deal. When they're correlated parlays, you get screwed on the juice. When they're like this, you get maximum juice. Why is this maximum juice? Because Benson is the backup running back that will play for James Conner and Marvin Harrison Jr. Those are Arizona players, but he wants Seattle to win the game. And so that's 10-1 for that 3-legger. And that's why you get the juice as you do out there. Markel's in the house. 9 Legacy says, we in the building, baby. Paid in full parlay. Let's get it. Nunya. What up, Nunya? Peter Grassi says, love Toronto, but think the Yankees going to win the AL East. There's Trip Carroll. So what do you think about Florida State and Virginia? I like Virginia. Wrong team favored? I'm going to take the points. I'll probably sprinkle the money line, but I'm going to take was it 7.5? I think was the number I looked at earlier. Trip Carroll. That's what I think about that game. Although Florida State, for what it's worth, Florida State has learned that they got to play the old run the score up game. They've been beating teams like a baby seal, crawling around on the shores of that University of Miami shoreline. And I mention that because the big look ahead spot is Florida and the U next week. The Spear and the U, I believe, is that game that's coming up next. Patchy Storm likes the Army money line first quarter. Plant-based says MLB crushed me. Yeah. Cedric says, yes, sharps and respected MLB donations. Nasty Nate says Red Sox trifecta again. We do, says family, I'm here. 8-piece Sims over 10.5, 2+ money spots. Fuck does that mean? I'm here. 8-piece. The 8-piece got me thinking some KFC. I haven't had some KFC in a minute. Sims over 10.5 2. 2 plus money spots, boys. I could eat some KFC, that's for sure. Peter Gracias is correct. Winnable marathon, not a sprint. Tarek B says, what up, Big Mike? Live bet Tampa plus 150. We'll let you know what happens at the end. Chosen ones in the house says, I'm looking at the under 43.5. FSU in Miami next week. There it is. Gerald Jones says, what up, crew? Cash plus 200 Marlins. Last pick on show. Best bets, 68 and 62. My man's catching some steam. Going with Seattle -1. Peter Gracia says he's feeling the Sox again in this spot. Very interesting. Very interesting indeed. What in the... Where the fuck? What happened to all of my uploads? Where'd they all go? I can't even scroll through this. Let me try this. Bear with me. Hey, look at that feller. Beyond weird. Stream, I better get their shit together. Please hold. There we go. That's all you got to do. When in doubt, pull it out. It happens to be a good life lesson. For just about anything. For just about everything. When in doubt, pull it out. Just remember. Not what Jason or what Sean Alexander would do. But hey, that's okay. So weird. I know you guys are probably sitting there going, what's so weird? Like the graphics disappeared. Some of the connection feeds have disappeared. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Let's get through this thing. Redford says, you wish you would have known that sooner. I told you guys I used to work with a guy that had 6 kids. And then he got married to a lovely gal with another kid. And he would go around and he would tell people, I had 6 kids. And every time we were together, I'd be like, yeah, this fucking guy doesn't know he can pull out. You can only imagine what that was like in corporate America. All right, let's go. Let's talk about this first game. It's going to pop off at 6:40. It's one that I'm rather fond of as we lay down the law on the books here tonight. And I like the price tag an absolute ton in this game. I was starting off here looking at taking a nice juicy spot to kind of, I like to do that. We've done that. We've had some success this week with it. I'm going to jump in on the Tigers to pop the card here. I realized the banners got screwed up. Man. 72% of the bets, 58% of the cash are on the Guardians. And the total has not moved. 92% of the bets, 90% of the cash. And yeah, we've seen what's happened in this series thus far. We talked about it, right? I think there's 2 spots on this card. 2. Where you just have to throw it out the window and use the good old-fashioned gut. And the first one happens to be this Tiger spot. With what's on the line, the opportunity to recover, recoup, regroup, recharge, and fire. The Tigers are going to put Melton out there, 2.79 ERA. Messick goes on the other side of things here, but man, there's just some great spots here. Day game, road team system. For whatever reason, they happen to fire, but the Tigers in the division against left-handed pitching. That's the spot that we wanted to focus on here because it is Messick that's going out there for the Detroit Tigers, or for the Cleveland Guardians, excuse me. And 9-1 is the most important number you need to know about that. Despite their woes, but despite their inconsistency in hitting, man, everything. Type this back in, everything. The only thing that would have been better than this right now is if the whole fucking system reset like 5 seconds ago. Sorry, you guys. I'm trying to get there. I'm doing my best. Messick, though, with that 3-0. So he's catching wins. But again, the Tigers in the division against lefties, look, they're 33-17 over the course of the season. So they've been doing it, and they're 9-1 over their last 10. We've got this Messick, and I had to look into this guy because the biggest thing I saw, he likes to give up contact. 9 hits, 8 hits, 7 hits, 9 hits, 5 hits. And those hits have turned into runs. 3, 1, 1, 2. Not a ton of runs, but we already know these Cleveland Guardians have been unders in these conferences here. The AL Central squares up against each other. They happen to be unders in these spots as well. So, yeah, he's got a sub-1 ERA. It's a 0.69. It's the Guardians. It's post-All-Star break. It's a situation, however, where you got to look at this Tigers team and be like, dude, you're giving it up. You're giving it away. And, yeah, what are they going to do? They're going to pitch by committee. It's going to be an assembly job, starting with Troy Melton. Now, does that build confidence? Does that instill confidence? No. Absolutely not. But my suspicion tells me this dude's only going an inning, and they're going to put as much fucking scotch tape on this thing as they can because they need a win. They've been desperate. They've been playing like shit. But the lefties, the numbers that I was reading off the first games of the series, by the way, those were lefty or righty numbers. How bad they've been doing against righties in this. And then we saw it evidenced in the last couple of games out there. However, it's a lefty. It's an opportunity. And look, man, you got to do something. And you better be aggressive because they got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. They're 1-11 in their last 12 games. This Detroit Tigers team is. And guess what's happening? TikTok, this season's almost over. With the Red Sox next, you got to put it all on the line right now. And you're on the road on top of that. So this to me is, granted the lefties. I'm not going to look at the series as a whole. I'm not going to drill down on the micro level of, I'm not going to do all the things that we should be doing. Sharp perspective bettors have come in, and they've said the Detroit Tigers are the spot to go in this game as well. That's the spot I'm going to take. I'm going to start this card off with a juicy plus 140. I think it's borderline disrespect on top of that. So for what it's worth, that's how we will pop the top on the shop tonight. We're going to roll into game number 2 is this White Sox and Yankees game. And yeah, it's that spot that I said last night. Let's take that plus 1.5 spot. And let's see if we can't turn that into something good. Well, we didn't turn it into shit. Yankees busted them up. Yankees will continue to bust them up. 2 things are going on. One, you've got Rodon. Rodon's been on fire. Pitching with his hair on fire, and then you got Davis Martin going on the other side. So Rodon comes into this thing. He's got a 2.87 ERA at home. Got to love those numbers. Came off of pitching 7 innings his last start. Not just 7, but he's been a 6 or 7 guy the whole post-All-Star break run. And I just think this is the pitching advantage. Yeah. And by the way, it's not just pitching advantage. I mean, look, we'll talk about some of these numbers. Minus 310 has moved to minus 295, 94% of the bets, 92% of the cash on the Yankees. Big money. What are you going to do? They're busting up these White Sox. And we know the deal. When they score more than 6 runs the previous game, they go back and they fire again. So as much as I was looking at the unders, I had a hard time. 81% of the bets, 81% of the cash are on the over 8.5, and it's juiced to the minus 115. It just led me to baby seal time. That's all I could see in this game. It's just put it on a piece of paper. Explain it to me. How do the Yankees just not go out here and continue to club the shit out of them? Again, a team that knows what's at stake right now, and what's at stake is playoffs. Positioning, playing weaker teams, having the opportunity to fly high. 2.17 ERA his last 8 starts for Rodon. 2.67 over his last 13. Remember what we talked about. If you're here And then you're getting better and even better as you roll the overlays. Your buy-on positions out there. And the Chicago offense has been officially they've been extinguished. Against lefties, horrible numbers. 274 OBA, 73 WRC plus. You know, that WRC plus number we learned earlier this baseball. I know a lot of people just give them out there. And we talked about them. We talked about what they mean, right? Kind of give you guys, and then how do you apply it? And it's just hitting. It's the hitting crew's expectations against the ballpark factors. They stink. 100's even. Sub 100, you stink. They're 1-10 in their last 11 games, and 7 of them have been by 2 or more runs. I went with the -2, little Asian line, if you will, because I was thinking about the -2.5, but they are the home team. Rito says, I wanted to treat. Tried to parlay A's with this game plus 1.5. F Houston. Yeah, F Houston is right. Nunion's about to slip in a parlay. Smashing 2 pounds of carne asada with homemade pretzels and yum sauce. Damn. Rita says, I remember a guy gave me $6 in Vegas. The month wasn't even over yet. Kelly V's checking in. She's got the Yankees -1.5, the Cubs -103. There you go. Gerald Jones says Seahawks, a contest pick in DraftKings, pick 5, ATS pool, 2 entries, 1 entry, 10 to. Oh, Kelly V's correcting me on my. I was saying it wrong this whole time, Kelly V. My bad. All right, let's roll onward. We got some more baseball. They must be getting ready to do a massive. That's got to be the case. A massive overhaul coming to. It's got to be. I haven't seen any press releases or anything that have talked about it, but it's got to be. Full disclosure, I fucked this one up. You know what was happening? I'll tell you what happened. I got cute with it. I'll admit it. I was looking at the graphics and I was like, oh, a lot of these line up the same. And so I left the Kansas City spot in the same spot it was in yesterday. And then I added a bunch underneath it. So Kansas City's out of rotation. Don't adjust your TV sets. You don't have to. We'll get it figured out. But I definitely screwed that up. So I'm going to take the Royals. I'm going to just cover this one really quick. We'll knock this one out. And then we'll circle back and get these other spots in there. Like I said, I don't have anything for you guys in the Rockies Mariners. So if you need to take a play, I don't know, take the under. I wish I had the dice. MMA Jeff's got the dice. The dice won the other day with Seattle on the under. I have to get some dice myself. It's tough. It's tough to take the roll in the dice. I'll start doing that though. If you guys have questions on the games that I'm not playing, I'll roll the dice for you. I'll roll the die. Also, worth noting, got a new head shaver today, and that thing fucking zipped it right to the scalp, baby. Better water the lawn or it is going to burn. All right, let's talk about this game on deck here. Kansas City Royals, Los Angeles Angels. Interesting spot. What's so interesting about it? I shit on the Kansas City Royals in game 1, and I gave out the under. But I followed it up in game 2 with the Angels, and I parlayed that under. So this is not one of those spots where it's like, oh, you just don't have a read on the series. I think we have a really good read on the series. And we got 77% of the bets and 63% of the cash, despite the series really being irrelevant. -108's moved to -120. 6,900 tickets in the sample. One of the smallest baseball samples I've read off in a minute. The total's gone from 9 to 9.5. Not true 9.5. They're head fake 9.5. 61% of the bets, 63% of the cash on the over. They're showing 9.5, but it's juiced to the under. It's Ferris and Lorenzen. I'm not so sure. Does it just line up too perfect? Can the Athletics come back on the Astros? Would that be fucking awesome? Would be for me. Mitch Ferris be his name. Mitch Ferris, blow the game. 4.1 innings pitched his last start against Colorado. 4 innings pitched against Seattle before that. Gave up 6 runs, gave up 5. I mean, look, you're throwing this dude to the Wolves. The Wolves happen to be Kansas City. Now, does Lorenzen tickle your fancy? Well, not at 6-11, but you guys know the deal with me and starting pitchers. They're not, well, look, Lorenzen went 7.2 innings. That means he was pitching into his 8th inning his last game, and that was against Toronto. So before that, he sucked. Sometimes you've got to look at these bounce backs and be like, what the fuck? He goes 3 innings against Philly. He goes 1 inning against Seattle. He goes 7.2 against the AL top Toronto Blue Jays. Make that make sense to me. That was a 20-1 win, but can't argue about a little momentum. And look, bottom line for me, the Royals against shit teams on a Thursday are 13-0, a perfect 13-0. Shit team defined as a sub 500. Why? I believe it's travel day. It's nobody cares day. It's my worst pitcher is better than your worst pitcher day. And they've just got more pieces to tinker with across their arsenal between both offense and defense and bullpen. So I think that's why you see a situation where Kansas City falls into this 13-0 position. It's a nice price tag. We got the line movement correlated with us on it. And it's Ferris, who's been chunking up runs in abundance lately. So hopefully he practices the abundance mentality tonight and we can cash. Now he is a lefty, so you gotta respect the lefty, but I don't think it's going to make a difference at the end here with this Kansas City team. I think they got enough on deck here to get it done. Tech B likes the Royals as well. 13-0, my dude. 13-0 against a shit team. Continuing to cash. And, you know, the funny part is even though it's just some Angels trends out there, they're all like negative trends right now. So they're like, sometimes you look at the two teams and you see the trends line up and it's like, all right, which of these ones can I eliminate? And they're all negative. They're all losing money for the Angels right now. So it just kind of further encouraged me to take this Kansas City Royals squad. Let's move back up the roster because I told you guys I screwed this up just a little. See, there's the one where I got the extra Kansas City down there at the bottom. This is the other game. Another spot where I just look at it and say, I know it's Bayo. I'm sorry, Nasty Nate. I don't think they smashed tonight. They already smashed. They did their smashing. It is Varland for the Blue Jays. Louis Varland is a relief pitcher. This is another one where they scratch it together with scotch tape. Detroit Tigers on the board 1-0 already. We got to look at the gut, and the gut's telling us that the Blue Jays know exactly what's at stake in this spot. Now, you can look at some of the game 3 trends for Boston. You can look at some of the road-home splits here, but look. Yes, and I know I talked about this isn't a profitable trend long-term, but the avoiding the split or avoiding the sweep, I'll apply it here because of the playoff implications. You got 3 teams in the AL East vying for playoff spots, and right now, the Boston Red Sox have been smashing Nasty Nate. 4-1, 7-1. Problem is the bats just got cold. And they've kind of been cold. You know, that Kansas City series, that didn't wow anybody. That didn't have the shock and awe effect that anybody was looking for out there. But look, home teams in the sweep position are 7-3. And again, with everything that's at stake right now, Blue Jays bounce back off a 2-game losing streak. There's just a lot of great opportunities here against a divisional foe that they're familiar with. And I believe it's Louis Varland to start, but I believe it will be Shane Bieber. Shane Bieber that will get himself 4 or 5 innings on top of this thing. So I think if we can weather the storm with Louis Varland to start this thing off, Brian Bayo on the other side. Look, he just got rocked. 4 innings, gave up 5 hits, 3 earned runs and a homer in that stretch. He's giving up back-to-back homers on top of that. Shaky command and control, brah. You better get in the car before they leave you at the bar because the Jays are going to smash tonight. Let's go. I think that's the way we cash that ticket. So again, just one of them spots tonight where we're down to just 4 days of baseball. And these boys know it, and they know what's at stake, and they played like shit on top of that. So let's go. Let's fire off. Let's get this last baseball game underway. What do you say? Jerry Davis says, oh, hell, if Bieber's pitching, I like Boston in the over for sure. What's wrong with Bieber, dude? I'll tell you what, I think Bieber's the best guy they got in the dugout, in the clubhouse. Bieber went 7 innings his last game. He gave up 4 hits, 2 earned runs. Does like to give up a home run, though. That's definitely shaky. Tarek B says, you're killing me. How did I kill you? Homer. 2-0 Detroit. Let's go. That's what we needed. I may have gotten a little bit heavier on that game. Low scoring affair. Now, as we look at this game, we will start with the cash flow and these splits. The 54% of the bets and 74% of the cash have taken the New York Mets. The Metropolitans have taken the action. And the lines moved 7 cents in their direction. Minus 106, now minus 113. 7.5 is the total. It has not moved. 89% of the bets, 88% of the cash. Imanaga versus McLean. I think this is a big matchup. Again, playoff implication. They're playing for something. The Mets got busted up again yesterday. But I do think it's a Mets spot, by the way. I do think this is a spot where they'll come back and fire. But gosh, I'm just looking at it going, up until this series, we saw the Cubs bats kind of dormant in their own right. So with the dormancy in the bats on the Cubs side, now the Mets obviously lit the candle because their pitching stinks. But Shota Imanaga can go out there and strike. No question in my mind that he can go out there and lock these boys down. And you look at the overall performance here. He went 5 his last game. Now, again, he likes to give up home runs too. So I just think this is stakes are high. Playoffs are on the line. Seeding's involved in this thing as well. I thought to myself, if I could see it being a Mets spot, even with Nolan McLean on the bump, then he should be able to go out there in that first 4 and keep it, or first 5 and keep it under 4. Weird number. Because there were some 4.5s with some juice, but then the full game 7.5. So let's just not get roasted. Let's just not get roasted right off the hop on this thing here. I mean, yeah, we know what we're in for when it comes to Nolan McLean. He's been getting back in the rotation and he's been going 5 innings. He even got a 6 and an 8 in there. So he could have that surprise start that we need to get this one done. I wish I had more than just thinking this is playoff written all over it. I like the under. McLean, let's not forget when he started his career with the Mets, the first Met to win 4 straight starts, and he dunked 14 straight to finish out his original starting process there. So if he can just get back on the horse, it's always tricky this time of year because it's deeper than these guys have gone ever in their career. But I think they feathered him back into the lineup appropriately to see something go down here. He had an 8 against the Philadelphia Phils. So let's not shit on him. Redbeard, what do you know about this guy? That's what I want to know. Bo Jackson knows. Bo knows. He says the Blue Jays have won 11 straight Thursday night games. Skunk Blaster says Mets. Jerry Davis is on the Cubs full game under. Might as well double up. Derek B's got Toronto too. Oh, he says you're killing me because what's wrong with Toronto? What's wrong? Well, it's not a bad thing. Unless you're judging by my earlier performance. My guess would be you want to utilize my earlier performance and say that dude, that's an isolated incident. This dude doesn't do that often, which means we should be ready to fire back. Okay. I told you guys about this in the onset. I don't get all of this East Carolina love. I got to really, we used to stream with our friends, Nick and Tim, and they love them East Carolina Pirates. Don't call them Eastern Carolina Pirates because there's no such thing, they'll tell you. But I don't know. I struggle because looking on paper, they stink on the ground. And Army stinks on the ground. So this is where I looked at this game as thinking the big thing that we heard about Army is their quarterback. Quarterback issues, quarterback injuries. Obviously, that's going to play an impact on the game. Army, however, if you'll think back to Army, Redbeard, I was asking if your guy McLean can score. Can he hold him down for us, or is he gas bagged? Is he burned out? So the challenge is, yes, Army, they're that triple-headed monster. We've seen, the triple option. That shit goes and fires. The difference is they added the ability to toss the ball long. Now, I wonder, with the subtraction of your quarterback, how much is that going to impact this game? So it's very tricky, because this line moved from -3.5 to -4 to -4.5 overall on these spots. And I really pride myself on our primetime college football stuff. So want to get it right, trying to really look at this thing. And I thought, well, we got late buy-in on top of that. So we got that U-shaped movement where they went as high as 4.5. And then once we hit 4.5, the sharp started coming back in on Army. It's now 50-50 on the bets, and it's 52% of the cash, and it's at +3.5. The total has me intrigued. 50-50. They're on the Mets. My question is, are they going to parlay the Mets and the Pirates? Should we do an Earl Brothers parlay in a tribute to the Earl Brothers? Parlay the Pirates and the Mets? I'll look into that, see what that pays before we go live later. I would imagine it's probably around a +165, 175, 185 maybe. Maybe not that high. Maybe 170. Anyways, I digress. The market's split 50-50 on both sides of this thing, both the side and the total. I can tell you that there is U-shaped movement. I can tell you the early buying came in on the under in this game. It moved to 52.5, and then 73% of the cash started coming in on the over. Now, for me, I rather like the over, as a matter of fact. I think, again, with the amount of ground game that we've seen the Army side of things give up, there's no reason that we couldn't suspect that ECU is going to go out there and do the same thing. And then does it matter how ECU responds to the triple option if we're looking for points? No. So I like the total. It just felt a little high. So I teased it. You're missing your quarterback in a big road spot. That's a big deal for me. This is a step down in class. I don't care what you say for East Carolina. I mean, they've been playing NC State, BYU. I mean, it's just they've been playing some big teams, some big games. And now you're taking Army in a step down in class without their newest weapon, their offensive quarterback there that shoots the ball all over the yard in that triple option offense. So the trick is going to be stop that triple option. And we'll know right away. We'll know, like, in the first drive. First drive's all scripted, right? But we'll know by that second drive. They gave up 172 rushing yards last week. That was 5.1 yards per average on that BYU squad. So I just don't know if Army can do enough to hold in there. I think it's within the field goal either way. It was my justification to get in on the ECU +2. Early sharps bought it. And only because it got to 4.5 did it come back down. And I think if I'm reading the card right between these spots and sides, that, look, East Carolina just got thumped at home. They lost by 21 points. You can't get ready to go beat up on an Army squad. This ain't the old days where you never beat up on a service school. You beat the shit out of them service schools here. And my uncertainty, I've teased it. Look, I teased it. What do you want me to say? My uncertainties, Army put 295 yards on the ground last game. 45-28 win. I'm sorry, over East Carolina the last time they played. But you take that quarterback out. I think what we look for is a live betting opportunity for the East Carolina money line. But I do like points in this game. I think this thing sails over. Just for some reference and some measure, Army's defense ranks 71st, giving up 32 points per game overall, ranks them 116th in the nation. They're giving up their share of points. And I just talked about the yardage that got chunked at East Carolina. So college football at its finest. It'll be fun, though. It'll be fun to have that game countering the other side of the NFL game. Kelly V says Joe Madden likes the under 27.5. 27 first half. See, I always get a little trepidation. So I want to prove it to myself. All right. I'm going to do this with a caveat to it. Caveats that I don't hate to play. That's the caveat. Show me on the screen where you see all those 27 and a halves. You don't. You see one. It's with FanDuel. 26 and a half. This is the one we look to see where it opened. Doesn't have an opening first half total. They opened after limits. But there's only one. That usually scares me. Not saying it's a made-up line. It's clearly out there, but sometimes. I saw somebody post one the other day. What did they post? Baltimore, first half. No. Was it? Baltimore, first half, -2. Oh, no. 2.5. Excuse me. 2.5. There was no 2.5. You made a 2.5 up. Now, there is a 27.5 here. I see that, but there's only one. So those always make me a little nervous when you're popping the top like that. I think, no, I don't hate that play. That is my concern. Last game on the card. Speaking of injuries, speaking of previous battles, speaking of opportunities, I gave this part out to you guys already this week. Looking at this card, looking at this game, I'd look at Seattle in the first half. And we talked about it yesterday. We had some great trends out there specific to how much Kyler Murray is a joke in the first half. Averaging less than, 9 points? No, I think this game's got under potential written all over it. So I did come in and I did add the first half under in this first half as well. I thought about the trifecta under in honor of our guy, Nasty Nate. First quarter under, first half under, full game under. And the reason why, to me, has a lot to do with the game script itself. The game script, as I estimate this thing, has to look a lot like you're all banged up. You're all busted up, brah. Run that clock, get that pill moving up and down the field, and get the fuck out of here, as we've seen with a lot of Thursday night games. Now, the one caveat to that whole process, this young gun coming in for replacing James Conner. James Conner hasn't necessarily gone out there and lit the world on fire through the first couple starts of the season. So there is that element to it. And look, I found this one incredibly difficult to cap as well, specifically because if you're going to go back and you're going to factor in some of these previous performances, like when you see that the last 9 times, I think it's 9 times that Seattle's gone down to Arizona, they've won. Well, what's different between now and those last 9 times? And the answer is everything. Everything's different. New coaches, new quarterbacks. Now, some will say they don't believe in Sam Darnold. I believe Sam Darnold can go out there and have a day. I believe he's going to have a day specifically with the long delay. Let me look and make sure I give you guys exactly what I played. Let me give you exactly what I played. How about that? I told you everything got screwed up right before show pop. Cooper Kupp, anytime touchdown plus 305. Also, so I've got the first half. I gave that to you guys. It was minus 110. It's moved a little bit. I've got the first half under 21.5. Again, theory being everybody's busted up. Marvin Harrison's not been out there firing. McBride has been lit up every single week as a tight end to go out there and have a big game. He hasn't done shit to show up yet. And it's Kyler Murray's fault. Now we see that Kyler Murray may or may not have the opportunity in him. In fact, he's 5-15 in these positions tonight. But I like his over in his passing yards. I got his over 210.5 passing yards because I suspect Seattle's up at first half. They roll in that second half. And for Arizona at home to try to come back and win the game, they got to throw it around the yard. So I like the Cooper Kupp connection from Sam Darnold. I think the Seahawks first half gets it done. I think that first half under 21.5 is a surprising number. And I like Kyler Murray to go over 210.5 passing yards. So there's a little 4-pack. SF Niner says over. All right, let me tell you what I was able to find. Kyler Murray, 5-15 when he takes on divisional opponents as a dog in the NFL. Okay. So I'm gonna further break this down as I make a couple more plays, but Redbeard. I'll just, Redbeard for the 1 in a millionth time. I'll say it again. If I just came on here and said it's a primetime game, take the under, why would you even watch? Don't you want to hear the game script at all? Don't you want to hear anything and don't you want your pontificator to come out there and prognosticate, or your prognosticator to come out there and pontificate after reading stats, after analyzing the data, to put themselves on the line just a little bit, just a smidge that says, hey, I think it's actually going to go like this. And it probably ends up under, but I think it goes like this. And look, we nailed it last week with Jared Goff and his passing yards, right? We crushed that under. Look, boys and girls, in this spot for Kyler Murray, the aforementioned situation, guess what? He's throwing the ball 37 times, and he's doing it because he's down a lot. He's averaging 224.7. So when I lock in on 210.5, there's a reason. And it all correlates back to the script. I know, Rick. Push my buttons. And the problem I have with Seattle in this game, or I'm sorry, with Arizona in this game as a whole, is in those Kyler Murray spots, they're rushing the ball 26 times for 129 yards. Well, you just took out your biggest weapon. So problematic. But I gave you guys a bunch of options to consider out there as we shut this show down and get ready for that's a hell of a name, isn't it, Phil? Pontificating prognostications. That sounds like a fantasy team name. Les says Kelly cracked the code. Kyler forces it a lot. I think Kyler Murray to get an interception is a good candidate. I'm going to have, I did not get the last same game parlay. So we've had 4 of our last 7, and they've been cashing. I'm focusing in on a same game. As soon as we're done here, I will circle back, look at any of the correlated line movement that I need to go back and get back in on some more games. And then I will be working on my same game parlay right up until the 7:45 p.m. live show. So get yourselves ready. Get that ice cube tray filled up. Nobody wants warm cocktails on Thursday night. Yourself, myself, and I'm sure even Razor Sharp doesn't like himself a warm cocktail on Thursday night. So appreciate you guys supporting the show today. If you haven't done so, hit the thumbs up button. Good luck with all your action. Leave a comment with whom you're tailing or fading. And let's get back together here at 7:45 for the best damn dual stream, live stream in the business. Appreciate everybody coming in here to check us out tonight. Good luck with your action. Good luck with your bets. Good luck with the luck on the whole process. Good luck to everybody.